Good evening, this is Mr. Win bringing you the second part of lesson 1 here. And let's take a look at question number 4 here. And notice there is a typo, so let's rewrite that right away. It should be labeled R plus 2s minus u is equal to 8. Okay, we only want 3 variables. That x there is a typo. So let's take a look at this, and if you remember from the last video, we want to eliminate one of our variables, and the easiest one to eliminate for this one is if I add these two equations together. So if I add these two together, I get that r, and notice there the s's will cancel and the u will cancel, so we have eliminated both of them. So r is in fact just going to equal 6 by adding these two together here. So now let's erase this here so that it's a little clearer to see. So again, we have that r is equal to 6, and this one here is a typo. That should be a 2s. So now I'm going to add my first and second equation together and plugging r is equal to 6 in at the same time. So I have that r is equal to 6, which means it'll be 6 plus 2s here minus u is going to equal 8. And adding that with my second equation here, I will add s plus u is equal to 4. So notice here that when we add these two, the u's here will cancel. So I am left with 6 plus 3s is equal to 12. So subtracting the 6 here, subtracting the 6, I get 3s is equal to 6. And divide by 3, I get that s here is going to equal 2. So now that I know s and r, I can plug it in. And in fact, I really can just plug it into my second equation here. So I get that s plus u is equal to 4. Well, I know that s is 2 plus u has to equal 4. So if I subtract the 2 here, I get that u is equal to 2. So finally, let me rewrite our solutions here. We have that r we said is equal to 6, s we said is equal to 2, and u is equal to 2. So if we write this as a system of equation, we can rewrite this as 6, comma 2, comma 2. So now let's take a look at the next question here, question number 5. In question number 5 here, they want us to find the equation of the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, whose graph passes through the points 1, 6 and 3, 20 and negative 2, 15. So let me rewrite this so that it is more clear here. Remember that our points 1, 6 here, that is our x and that is our y. And same thing with our points 3, 20 here. We have our x and our y, and our point negative 2, 15 here. We have this is our x and this is our y. So using the first one here, if we look at 1, 6, we can write that as 6 is equal to, just plugging into the equation that we do want, ax squared plus bx plus c here. We have 6, our y value is going to equal a, what we're trying to find, times 1 squared, our x value, plus b times 1 plus c. So we can rewrite that as 6 is equal to a plus b plus c. And we're just going to do the same thing for all the other ones as well. So in our next one, we have that 20 is going to equal, and if I square 3 there, I would get 9. So 9 times our a, and b times x. So our x again is 3 in the second points there, so plus 3b, and finally our c just comes along. And lastly, I have 15 is going to equal, plugging negative 2 in there, I would get negative 2 squared, which will be 4, so 4a. And plugging negative 2 in there, I would get minus 2b plus c. So let me rewrite everything here so that it is more clear. So we have 6 is equal to a plus b plus c, and our second equation was 20 is equal to 9a plus 3b plus c, and our third equation was 15 is equal to 4a minus 2b plus c. So just like before, we're going to start eliminating our variables here, and let's eliminate our c by just multiplying the second equation by a negative 1 and our third equation by a negative 1. So we have our top equation is still going to be 6 is equal to a plus b plus c, and our second equation now becomes negative 20 is equal to negative 9a minus 3b minus c. And my third equation now becomes minus 15 is equal to minus 4a, positive 2b, and a minus c. So now I can start adding equations here. Let's add our first equations here with our second equation. So just lining everything up, I have 6 is equal to a plus b plus c. And adding that with a minus 20 is equal to minus 9a minus 3b minus c. So notice here that the c's here will cancel when we add these two together. So I am left with 6 plus a minus 20, which will give me a minus 14 here. It's going to equal positive 1 minus 9 there will give you a minus 8a, plus b minus 3b there will give me a minus 2b. So now I have that one down to 2 variables, and let's do the same thing for our other ones here. And let's add my third equations here with my first equation up above here. So if I add these two together, I get 6, which was equal to a plus b plus c. And I'm going to add my third equation, which we already put the negative 1 through, so now it's going to be a minus 15 is equal to minus 4a plus 2b minus c. So again, notice that the c's here will cancel. And when I'm adding here, 6 plus a minus 15 will give me a minus 9 is equal to minus 3a plus 3b. So now these are my two new equations, and let's clear some space again so that we can see all of this. So if I rewrite my two equations here, we said that we have negative 14 is equal to negative 8a minus 2b, and my other equation was minus 9 is equal to negative 3a plus 3b. So again, we want to eliminate one of our variables here. So the easiest ones I would say to eliminate here would be the b's, just so that we can work with smaller numbers. So remember the trick of using multiplying their coefficients here, just doing the switch there. So we are going to multiply the top by a positive 3 and the bottom by a positive 2. Notice that their signs are already different. So we have the top will become negative 42 here, is equal to negative 24a minus 6b, and my bottom becomes just multiplying through by 2 there. I get negative 18 is equal to negative 6a plus 6b. And again, notice that when we add these two to solving our systems of equations here, the b's will cancel. And I'm just adding through, so I have negative 60 here is equal to negative 30a. So if I divide by negative 30 here and divide by negative 30 here, I can solve that a is equal to 2. So now using that, let's plug it back into our second equations here. So let's plug into this one here. We get that negative 9 is equal to negative 3 times our a, which was 2, plus 3b. So we have negative 9 is equal to negative 6 plus 3b. Adding the 6 over, I get negative 3 is equal to 3b. So if I divide by 3 and divide by 3, I get b is equal to negative 1. So now I have my a and b, and remember the easiest equations for us to use here. One of my equation in the beginning was 6 is equal to a plus b plus c. So now that I know both my a and b, let's plug it in. I have 6 is equal to a, which is 2, plus a minus 1 here, plus c. So 6 is going to equal 2 plus a minus 1, which would just be 1, plus c. So if I subtract the 1, I get c is equal to 5. Finishing this off here, the equation that they want us to find is going to be y is equal to. And now that we know our a, we have a is 2x squared, plus our b, which is a minus 1, so minus x, plus our c, which is positive 5 here. So this will be our equation here. That's it for this lesson. If you have any questions, please bring them to class. And as always, thanks for watching.